Hi, good morning, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly forecast for July 4th through the 10th. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and you might stumble upon this video a week from now, a month from now. Even though I'm setting the intention for the next 7 days, you're going to see this video whenever you're meant to see it, whenever it's time to hear the messages that are in it. Keep in mind, this is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't, and you may need a private reading sometimes. So without further ado, we're going to connect here and see what messages are coming up for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and Taurus Rising. Let's get right on into it, my lovelies. We're going to move the camera just a little bit closer. And the first card coming up here for you all, Taurus, is the Chariot. And this is a major arcana card. So major arcana cards come up when it's a significant new chapter, a defining moment. So even though I'm setting an intention for a 7-day period of time, this is an energy that's going to be around for a while. This can indicate Cancer energy. Some of you could be dealing with a Cancer that might be very significant for you in your life. If you have a Cancer placement, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. The Chariot card is a card of movement, is a card of sometimes like even getting to safety, or it can sometimes be a relocation card for me. Chariot, though, always makes me think of the quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson when he said, "Once we make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen." So sometimes we are in this energy where we're just like standing there and we're not sure what to do next. We don't know what's next. And we're like, okay, angels, okay, guides, open the door you want me to go through. I'm ready for the next thing. I'm waiting. And it's like tumbleweeds and crickets, like nothing is happening. And the reason for it is a lot of the times the Chariot comes up for me in my readings when this particular time, this particular situation is directly connected to your free will. We have free will, okay? The higher power, God, universe, has given us free will. Sometimes, depending on the situation, our free will gets overridden. If there's some kind of soul agreement or soul contract that we've made, or if it's something that's directly linked to our safety or preservation, sometimes our free will gets overridden. But when I see the Chariot card, this is a situation in which your angels and guides do not have authorization to override your free will. This is a situation where your angels and guides do not have the permission to make this choice for you. So your angels and guides are, there, and they're like, look, we're here, we hear you, we want to help you, but we're not allowed to pick the door. You have to pick the door. Once you pick the door, we're here and we're going to help you make it happen. But you need to choose. You need to choose which door. We can't pick the door. So sometimes the Chariot card comes up for me in my readings saying that you're coming into a time where a lot of your lessons are about exercising your free will. And you may be coming out of a lifetime of servitude. You may have been brought up, or you may have been raised in which the energy is just you get what you get and you don't get upset, and it's not all about you, and you gotta roll up your sleeves and do this and do that, and maybe you've been used to having things dictated to you and you can't question. And maybe this has been for many of you through many lifetimes, past lives. And in this lifetime, it's like, well, look, Taurus, now you get to learn that you have the right to decide. Now you get to learn that you have free will. So it's a very powerful energy in this way, in terms of decision making, in terms of choosing and deciding what you want and what you're wanting to do. So if you're feeling like you're at a lull, sometimes it can be because your angels and guides are like, you got to let us know what you want. We can't decide that for you. Once you decide what you want, things can happen and fall into place very quickly. Things can align for you very quickly. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles is a card that can come up sometimes when we might be concerned about money, we might be concerned about finances, and so we're being very cautious. We're being very cautious with our finances. We're being very cautious with our resources. But Taurus, I feel for some of you, this is a very specific message, and this applies if you're Taurus, sun, moon, rising, wherever Taurus falls for you. I feel this Four of Pentacles for some of you is that you had some kind of emotional, coping mechanism that maybe was very costly, very expensive. And I feel like some of you are getting a hold of that. And so it's going to feel like you have a lot more money because you're no longer turning to that coping mechanism. You're no longer coping in that way. Or you were being very generous to other people and you're maybe tightening the purse strings and you're like, you know what? Times are like a little uncertain right now. Economy's a little rough right now. I'm not going to be so generous, right? I'm not going to be as generous as I've been in the past. And so there's a sense here of being more cautious, being more cautious and being in the energy of not overly giving or giving more than you need to. Like, you might be more sparing. You might think twice before you're like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. So some of you are being a little bit more reserved and a little less generous. Four of Pentacles can also come up when we're being protective of our space. Maybe you're being more selective about who you're allowing into your home. Maybe you're being more selective about who you're spending time with. Some of you may be thinning out your circle of friends. You may be going through your social media and unfriending a bunch of people. I don't know this person. I don't talk to that person. You might be a lot more cautious about who you're allowing in your circle. But Four of Pentacles can be like this protectiveness. Sometimes I see Four of Pentacles come up when there's a significant financial blessing coming your way, and Spirit is telling you hold on to it. Don't be overly generous with it, because either there may be a lull in the future where you're going to need that money, like you're going to be glad that you have it to get you through a slow period or a period of maybe you're not working or you don't have income, but you don't have to sweat it because you have that money that came in from before. It can also be in the sense of like you might have something you're being guided to do, right? Like maybe this financial blessing comes in and then you're feeling guided to write a book or create something artistically or create some kind of workshop or learn a type of skill or something that you're going to do to help other people. Like you're feeling moved to do something in terms of like life path or life work. And while you're putting that together, you're not going to be making income, right? So if you hold on to the financial blessing that came in, then you can work on this labor of love or this calling without stress, without anxiety, without worry, because you have that little nest egg put away, or you have that little, stash put away, and you don't have to worry so much. So Four of Pentacles can say that maybe you're going to have some good things happening financially, but don't go spending it like it's going out of style, because the universe has brought this to you for a specific reason. Okay? It's brought this to you for a specific reason. So some of you are maybe, as I said, not feeling as generous or not feeling as open or just being more protective of your energy. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the World. Okay, now I'm gonna say something to you, Taurus, and don't get upset, don't get mad at me. I'm a Taurus moon, so it applies to me too. So I don't say these things willy-nilly. But for me, when I read and I have this pattern, look at this pattern. Major Arcana, not Major Arcana, Major Arcana. So when I have that shift, for me in my readings, that tells me you're coming into a bit of a roller coaster. Okay? There's going to be really high moments and really low moments. And because when the Major Arcana cards come in back to back, it's big, big changes, big, big shifts, breaking out of past life contracts, past life agreements that no longer serve you, coming into new contracts, big, 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 big shifts and growth. And so anytime we're coming into such big changes, the negative ego comes in hard. The negative ego comes in strong, like mean, nasty, vicious. The closer we are and the bigger the changes, because the negative ego hates change, even when the change is good. So you're going to have a bit of a roller coaster, okay? Mind over matter, Taurus. Mind over matter. You have to be present and aware of your thoughts, so when that starts creeping in, you can catch it and you can try to nip it in the bud, and you can reason and logic your way through it. I must be so close to such a massive change. That negative ego is coming in and being so nasty right now, right? Like I must be so close to a really big breakthrough that all of this is coming at me. So prayer, meditation, affirmation, cleansing and clearing your energy, cleansing and clearing your space. You're going to have this roller coaster, okay? Now, the World card is breaking out of karmic cycles and karmic patterns and succeeding. Like you passed the test. You passed the test, you passed the trial, you came out victorious, you came out triumphant. The World card can also come in with the element where you are ready to be seen. You're finally ready to put yourself out there. Maybe you've been hiding, right? And now you're like, you know what? I'm not going to hide anymore. And you're putting yourself out there. You're letting yourself be seen. You're letting yourself be heard. Now, with the World card also, there's a sense and a feeling here that for me comes up in my readings, and like with this sense of feeling comfortable in your own skin, really loving and appreciating every aspect of yourself as you are, how you are, and you're like, here I am, take it all in. and so there's like a sense of falling in love with yourself in a non-narcissistic way, and just being very comfortable with who you are, inside and out. And being ready to be seen, acknowledged, celebrated, being able to take a compliment. And there can also be an element of travel with the World card. So you may be coming into an element of travel, especially here with the Chariot card. There may be some significant travels ahead for some of you Taurus. Now, your next card coming up here, my darlings, is you, hello, which is interesting. I think that Taurus also came up in the Cancer reading. So I think some of you are dealing with a Cancer, because I feel like you guys came up in their reading and they came up in your reading. And so here, if you have a Cancer placement, I'd highly suggest you watch that video this week, even if you don't normally watch your placement videos. But if you have a Cancer placement, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life or in those houses. Now with the Hierophant card, can be commitment. A lot of times people watch tarot for love and romance, so the Hierophant kind of gets typecast as marriage, and that could definitely be the case for some of you. Some of you may be manifesting a marriage partner, or if you're already married, you may be recommitting to that marriage or making a commitment to see things through or to get through these transitions and these changes together. Now, the Hierophant is a card about, I'm all over the place, excuse me. I want to say this first. When I'm reading for somebody and your Major Arcana card comes up, and this is your card, Taurus, Hierophant is the card for Taurus. When your Major Arcana card comes up, this is telling me that everything in this situation is directly connected to you coming into your authenticity and you coming into your power. And so all of this is about you coming into who you are, how you're meant to be, and living your life unapologetically and confidently as yourself. Okay? Living your life unapologetically, confidently, and living in your authenticity. And really loving all aspects of yourself. Your shadow, your light, the things that you thought were weaknesses. You're realizing, hey, these are actually strengths when I apply them productively, right? When I use them wisely. So it's a time of coming into your power and coming into your strengths. And really, really, really being who you truly are, without hiding, without fear, and being in your confidence and being in your power. Now, the Hierophant also comes up for me in my readings when it's about being in the energy of making your decisions based on your beliefs, your ethics, your morals, your values, and not out of fear. We talked about negative ego. These are big changes. These are big, big shifts. And so negative ego is going to want to freak you out and scare you and have you make fear-based decisions. But if you make your decisions based on your beliefs, your ethics, your morals, your values, you're not going to regret the decisions that you made, and you're going to be aligned with what's going to make you happy, and you're going to be aligned with the things that are going to be permanent for you in your life. Taurus, a lot of you have had a lot of just nothing is permanent, right? You do something, it falls apart. You start over again, it falls apart. You do something else, it falls apart, because you've been doing what you think you're supposed to do instead of what is in your spirit, what is in your soul, what you're feeling called to do, what you're feeling guided to do. You kept doing what you thought you were supposed to do, right? Or what other people were telling you to do. But when you start living in your authenticity and you start doing the things that are true to you, those are the things that are going to be permanent in your life. You don't have to keep starting over again. And I feel, even though I'm not doing love readings in the weekly forecast, and I do the love readings separate on my channel, love readings for July are linked in the description. One moment here. So even though this is not a love reading, in the weekly forecast, and I do the love reading separate, I feel, Taurus, some of you have had issues with commitment. And so maybe some of you have avoided relationships for a long time, or you haven't really been sold on anybody in your love life. Maybe you've dated, but you've just been I don't know what I'm doing with this person. Or you may have not had successful relationships or relationships that stick. And so I feel here with this Taurus, a lot of you are breaking out of the cycle. And the reason why these relationships weren't sticking is because of the fact that these are people that you weren't aligned with. They weren't in your life path. They weren't in your life purpose. To use a biblical term, okay? And a lot of you know I was raised in the church, and Elvis Presley in the Bible is how I learned English as a child. I learned English from my children's Bible and Elvis music. So Bible has been drained in my head since I was very, very young. So sometimes you all will hear me use biblical references because it's so ingrained in me, it pops up. But there's a term in the Bible of unevenly yoked. And so unevenly yoked is when they would have animals plow a field, right? And so sometimes you could put two animals to pull the yoke to plow the field, but the animals need to be kind of the same stock or the same, similar. You can't take a bull and yoke it with a little lamb and expect that they're going to be able to work together or they're going to be able to pull together. It's not going to happen, right? And so I don't mean this to say in terms of you have to be with someone that's identical to you, but you have to be with someone who is aligned or similarly on a similar path. It doesn't have to be identical, but so a lot of you have been in these relationships that are unevenly yoked. You guys are like from worlds apart, and you're coming together for a relationship, so it's not sticking, it's not meshing, okay? And so like this has to be somebody from the same world, right? Somebody who maybe is like cut from the same cloth, so to speak. So I feel here that as you're making your decisions based on your principles, your beliefs, your ethics, your values, you're aligning with such a person. And so a lot of you who maybe have been just non-committal, not because you've been promiscuous or you're out there acting a mess, but it hasn't been in your heart or it hasn't clicked. I feel like you're aligning now with somebody that you're like, I feel this in my heart, this feels right, this clicks, this is gonna stick, this is gonna stay. So maybe some of you have just been in this mindset of, I'm never gonna get married, or I'm never gonna settle down, or I'm never gonna commit. Guess again, some of you are, okay? It's not gonna be in that way for all of you, but for some of you, yes, it is a general reading. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, to see what comes up for you. Some of those might resonate more. Love readings for July are linked in the description of the video. If you would like to schedule a private reading with me, there's a link that takes you to my scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite. You can schedule with me there. And don't forget, every single day I've been posting a daily message that's been helpful to a lot of people, so maybe you want to check that out. And I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful week ahead, my darlings. Take care and be well.